Now, you know as well as I do that all of us at some point in our lives will be called on to be some of the characters in the story of Job, right? We'll be called on at some points to sit with friends who are ill or grieving. We may ourselves someday be the victims of a tragedy, and we'll certainly face the loss of loved ones and property and health. Now, in the face of other people's tragedies, there can be a tendency to offer easy explanations, usually to make us feel better rather than the person going through it. Yet, in the midst of our own tragedies and losses, we come to recognize that these easy explanations don't help. Kind of like the pastor from eastern Oklahoma who changed his tune once he found out that his house had been hit by the tornado as well. When something happens to us in our lives and our theology no longer fits, we end up at what Rebecca Parker calls a theological impasse. And when we end up at a theological impasse, we have three choices. Our choices from that point are to try to hold on to our beliefs and deny our experience. That's backing up on the road, trying to return to an earlier state of consciousness, trying to say, I saw nothing, nothing happened, forget it. Now, the second option is to take the path that leads away from religion and God altogether. Forget it, I'm done. And the third option is to become a theologian, to go forward developing a new framework of meaning for your life. It's the idea that you cannot put new wine into old wineskins. Once we achieve a new consciousness, we cannot fit back into our old patterns of thinking and being. And Dr. Parker tells us that sometimes a whole culture can come to a theological impasse when our old ways of understanding and doing things no longer fit. And that seems to be happening all over our world right now. Right? Our understanding and our relationship with the environment seems to be being challenged and changed. Our understanding of free markets and global economics is at an impasse. Now, Wall Street wants us to hold on to our faith in them and the old reality despite our experience, but those wineskins aren't holding. And since we can't exactly walk away from economics, we need to develop new frameworks. Now, religiously, it seems like we are certainly in a time when something new is possible. So then, how can we respond in a world in which bad things happen to good people and the wicked sometimes get away scot-free? What can we have faith in if we cannot have faith in life's fairness or the afterlife's fairness? How can we deal with life's indiscriminate losses and pain? There's only one response that makes any sense. Love. Life and religion are about making meaning and learning to love. And the greatest of these is learning to love. Religion too often gets caught up in trying to defend and justify God. That's what Job's friends were trying to do. The only helpful thing that they did was their first response when they sat with Job quietly as he grieved. One thing that we can do for one another at times like that is to sit together and to remind one another that you are loved and you are not alone. None of us can avoid loss and suffering. And as much as we want to long for fairness and explanations, we must remember that often there aren't any. There's only love. And we cannot just decide to love the world because it's perfect in all ways. Because like the people we love, We must love the world despite its imperfections. Like the people we love, the world sometimes lets us down and disappoints us and offers us pain. But if we're going to only love perfect people, we will be condemned to lives of loneliness. This life is filled with stunning beauty and stinging imperfection. The only response that makes any sense is to make meaning and grow in love. And when Jesus was asked, what is the sum and the substance of the law and the prophets? What was his response? Love. Love God and love your neighbor as yourself. He even says, love your enemies. He certainly didn't say, damn your enemies to hell. He said, love them. And that is indeed the essence of the Gospels. Let us bless this imperfect world, and let us allow ourselves to be blessed by it. At one time or another, everyone encounters an event that divides their life into before and after. When it happens, choose love. I love you. Amen.